This is a special report from ABC News Digital.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Kleffler in New York with this ABC News Digital special report on the Oklahoma tornado disaster. The damage in Oklahoma, staggering. The town of Moore simply shell-shocked. Search teams and National Guard troops are going through that rubble today, hoping to find survivors in the field of debris, making it all the more difficult in their efforts. Landmarks are gone. Streets are difficult to navigate through, and rescuers having a tough time making their way through that area. If you take a look, this area in Moore, Oklahoma was the site of another deadly tornado back in 1999. It was an EF5 that killed 42 people. The path almost identical to yesterday's tornado that had touched down just before 3 o'clock local time there and had swept through that area. Now, the latest that we're getting from the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's office says that the death toll from that disaster is now at 24, and that includes 9 children. In all, that tornado was 2 miles wide. It was on the ground for about 45 minutes, and it tore a 12-mile stretch across the state of destruction. It flattened schools and businesses, entire neighborhoods simply gone. The president earlier today had made a news conference offering prayers and support from the federal government and also the National Guard in there right now trying to make a recovery effort going underway. The president vowing for an urgent response to Oklahoma, saying that the town of Moore needs to get everything it needs right away. Certainly something that the president has been watching, along with the governor, who will be holding a news conference a little bit later on this afternoon about the latest on the recovery efforts and the search efforts that are going on there. But this tornado striking in the afternoon when a lot of schools were still underway. And as you can see from some of the video here, as people were trying to make their way back through the neighborhood of Moore just to understand the scope of the devastation, people were just simply paralyzed, just standing there in shock by what was right before them. A lot of young kids there, again, still in school and still just unbelievably shocked by this twister that had torn through. 2 schools in the town of Moore were simply flattened by that tornado, and one of them, the Briarwood Elementary School. The first grade teacher, Cindy Lowe, told Good Morning America how she jumped into action yesterday, relying on some earlier training, all to save some of her students.
I actually saw the tornado coming and knew how serious it was and was just trying to calm the children down. But yes, more of the same, just like Sherry said, getting them covered up. You know, we practice tornado drills and things like this, and I had to tell them this is not a drill, and we need to be safe, and just laying my body on top of as many kids as I could.
The picture is just almost unimaginable. And ABC's Alex Perez is on the ground in the middle of the destruction there. And Alex, I understand that obviously the recovery, the cleanup effort is going on right now, but a great deal of shock across Moore today.
Shock is just, it's almost not as strong enough of a word to describe what people are feeling right now. It's extremely devastating. There are no words to really convey what people are feeling here right now. Now, authorities just a short time ago revised the death toll to 24, including 9 children. Last night and earlier this morning, that was at about 50 or so. Authorities say there was so much chaos last night in the last few hours that they just could not figure out what exactly was going on. Now, I want to show you just the scene here behind me, and this is pretty much what it looks like all over Moore, Oklahoma. Homes completely torn apart and shattered. People walking around trying to salvage whatever it is they can, but it's devastating. These are people's homes. People have been working on this their entire lives sometimes, and it was wiped away within just a couple of minutes last night. Now, rescue crews are still out there trying to see if there are any signs of anyone that may be underneath some of this rubble that still is searching for help. We learned that overnight at least 101 people were discovered in shelters. So rescue crews were able to get people out and to safety, but that search is continuing right now. And as you know, the clock is ticking. As more time passes by, the chances of finding someone underneath this rubble okay, those chances get much slimmer. Now, another big problem here, we are seeing a lot of house pets, animals that are just walking around, roaming, also lost, just don't know where to go. They lost their owners, they lost their homes. So the problems here are multi-layered. There's just so many things, and the idea of cleaning up and returning to normal is just something that's difficult to even conceive right now.
So,
Dan?
Alex, I know obviously the National Guard and local officers there are trying to get control of the situation and get that area secured, but they are letting people back in to that area to search for things?
Well, it depends where exactly your home was. There are some areas where some people are being escorted back to their homes. There are other areas where they're still waiting for utility crews to get there to make sure gas, power lines, and all those things are in order and turned off before they let the general public back in there. So it really depends where your home falls in all of this. But some people are being let back in and trying to assess the damage.
Obviously making the problems that much more complicated. Alex Perez, Alex, thank you for that. We appreciate that. I want to go over to ABC's Marcy Gonzalez, who is also in Moore today. Marcy, talk to me a little bit about the rescue operations that are underway, because obviously it's very difficult for them to get in there and to navigate around through all that destruction.
That's right, Dan, and they did not give up. They were out throughout the night, searching in the darkness for any survivors, going around past the rubble, trying to see if they could maybe hear the voices of anyone trapped underneath. But we have learned that it is now a recovery effort at that one elementary school where we know there were several fatalities. They are not expecting to find any more survivors there.
All right. And of course, obviously, as that area is continuing to grapple with the devastation there, what about people coming back in? I know we were speaking with Alex just a minute ago about some people are making their way back in. Are for the most part, people staying in shelters, though, at this point?
A lot of people say that they are staying with friends and family. The Red Cross has opened up several shelters, and they say they're actually pretty empty because this is the kind of place where people grew up. Their families are still here, so they have other places to stay. But yeah, people are still coming back to their homes today, trying to salvage whatever they can. As Alex was saying, you can see there really isn't a lot to salvage, but you can see people kind of picking through the rubble, seeing what's left. In this home to my right, we were speaking with these homeowners here who came back today to get a look at things, and they found a few surprises. They found a nightstand that still had a stack of quarters left sitting on it that was left there before the storm. They found the koi in their koi pond still alive. So they're the little things that are bringing smiles to people's faces who live here, despite all of the tragedy, all of the terrible things that they saw yesterday. They're trying to find hope.
Town certainly in need of hope and a lot of help. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez in Moore. Marcy, thank you. Of course, you can follow the latest on the recovery efforts and the cleanup efforts and how you can help out Moore, Oklahoma on abcnews.com throughout the day. For now, I'm Dan Kleffler in New York with this ABC News Digital Special Report.
This has been a special report from ABC News Digital.